Good day everyone. On Thursday the 9th of February 2023, a national state of disaster was declared with regards to the impact of severe electricity supply constraint. And this was gazetted in the government gazette on the 9th. And because of this, President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his State of the Nation address, when it eventually started after the removal of the EFF from the parliamentary chambers, actually declared that a national state of disaster was declared. And you will see, if you go and look at the government gazette, that there were two parts to this. Firstly, it was in the Department of Cooperative Governance Disaster Management Act of 2002, classification of national disaster, impact of severe electricity supply constraint. And it says, I, Dr. Elias Etoli, in my capacity as the head of the National Disaster Management Center, or the NDMC, after consultation with key national sector departments and provincial disaster management centers, and after assessing the magnitude and severity of the substantial impact of the severe electricity supply constraints and its possible progression to a total blackout, and this is key and I'll talk about that later, if not prevented, and after having considered the information and recommendations provided by stakeholders, I hereby give notice in terms of Section 23(3) of the Disaster Management Act of 2002. I classify the impact of the severe electricity supply constraint as a national disaster. Now, this could have obviously been done earlier because the impact of load shedding has had severe impact on the country over a very long period of time. So, at the end of the day, what is key here in what is said is that if the constraints continue, there is a possible progression to a total blackout if not prevented. Now, I don't technically agree with that whatsoever, but what is important here is their intent, and this is what you need to understand, that he is saying that that if the constraint continues, which has been there for a long time, that it could progress to a total blackout if the constraint is not prevented. Now, that is not factually or technically true. A constrained grid can remain constrained indefinitely without a blackout because grids have systems in place to prevent a blackout. The size of the grid is more relevant, the state of the grid and how the grid is controlled. If the grid is controlled successfully by some of the best people in the world, in the South African case when it comes to grid control, then a blackout can be prevented. If the grid becomes very small and you lose a big unit, then it is possible to get a grid blackout, but we have mitigations in place to restore that grid later. But we're going to get to the next proclamation in the government gazette, and that is with regards to Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, which is obviously the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. And there's a couple of points that I want to highlight for you in that specific declaration, and this is also with regards to the declaration of a national state of disaster, impact of severe electricity supply constraint. So in that first publication, it mentions there that because of the constraint, we might actually have a blackout. And constraint cannot cause a blackout. It's not factually true. But it says here, I, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, MP, Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, designated under Section 3 of the Disaster Management Act of 2002, in terms of Section 27(1) of the Act, hereby declare a national state of disaster, having recognized that special circumstances exist to warrant the declaration of a national state of disaster. And Section 27(2) read with Section 27(3) of the Act may, when required, and this is now when we're getting to the crux, make regulations and issue directions or authorize the issuing of directions concerning the matter listed therein, only to the extent that it is necessary for the purpose of, And now there's A, B, C, D, and E. And I want you to carefully listen to this. And then at the end, she has signed. Okay? So this was already published in the Gazette. It's done and dusted, as President Cyril Ramaphosa said. Point A, assisting and protecting the public. Now I will go through these quickly and then I will give you my thoughts on these points and what could possibly happen in future. B, providing relief to the public. C, protecting property. D, preventing or combating disruption. Or E, dealing with the destructive nature and other effects of the disaster. So the last point, very open-ended. The first point, assisting and protecting the public, very open-ended. To what lengths and measures can you go to protect the public from load shedding? This is very open. This could be endless. This could include monitoring, tracking and tracing to nth degree to find people trying to steal copper cable, trying to find people that literally steal from substations or vandalize substations. We could have travel restrictions because of this. It's endless what could actually happen, and I'm not touching on the financial side of things at all, and I'll keep that for another video. Providing relief to the public. Okay, money. So money because of load shedding, aka only certain elect businesses getting funding to compensate for the fact that load shedding is basically impacting those businesses. And you can just imagine where money will come from and how it will be used. Like I said, I'll cover that in a separate video. Protecting property. So to protect property, what can they do? They could put curfews in place. I'm not saying that this will happen, but they could put curfews in place in certain areas. Preventing or combating disruption. Now, what disruption? This could be endless. And then lastly, dealing with the destructive nature and other effects of the disaster. This almost gives the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs unfettered power to do an untold amount of things to end this national state of disaster. And as I've said before, this is not going to go away overnight. This is going to continue for many, many years to come, as we have an aging fleet within Eskom, a coal fleet in Eskom, and we need to take care of those stations for as long as we can, as best we can, especially by supplying it with clean quality coal. But what do you think could actually happen now? What have you heard? If you are close to government, or if you are close to the people making decisions with regards to this disaster that's been declared countrywide, not just within the electricity sector, but countrywide. It means all of us are affected by this. Tell me what you think. Government might conjure up. I released a tweet where I said, let's see what inventive ways people can come up with now to get hold of money. Get out the popcorns, put your seat back and watch. So I can't wait to bring you more information on this as it's unfolded. I'm sure many people behind the scenes are working feverishly to make sure that they can get their hands on the loot. I thank you for watching this video, and thank you for staying with this channel. Thank you for helping us to reach 47,000 subscribers. At the end of the day, the people that enable the global elites to take control of this country and remove our freedoms, which has happened under the last Disaster Management Act under COVID-19, those are the people that enable these global elites to take our freedoms away. These are well-constructed plans. I have said before that there's three things that will be affected big time in this country and will be the main focus areas. It will be the Zulu Kingdom, getting rid of the power of the Zulu Kingdom, absolutely destroying Eskom, and next the secession battle. So keep your eyes open for these things, and as they happen, don't ask me, Desmond, how did you know this? If you watch the videos on this channel, especially the Moments in Time and Question Everything series of videos, which you can find in the two playlists, Moments in Time and Question Everything, you will understand why I can tell you exactly what is going to happen with regards to the global elitist plans and what we can do to counteract it. That's what this channel is about, how we counteract what they are doing to take our freedom away in this country. And we are well on our way. We've just managed to raise the 250,000 rand needed within 50 days to contest the national elections in 2024 for system change. And the Organic Humanity Movement is fighting for that change. I'm a member and a supporter of the OHM. Thank you to all of you that are working feverishly on the ground to make this a reality. We need it more than ever. Thank you very much, and please remember to share this video with your friends and family.